things usually come in threes, as they say, and something that came in threes last night was Jimmy Uso costing Jey Uso a championship, or a championship match. First time, Jey versus Roman, Jimmy costs him the championship. Second time, Jey and Cody defend the tag titles against the Judgment Day. Jimmy costs them the championships. And finally, Jey Uso versus Gunther for the Intercontinental Championship. And Jimmy cost him the championship. 3 fucking times! I feel like they could have been a little bit more original, but it is what it is. At least it's getting us to where we need to be with Jimmy versus Jey. And at this point, we all know Jey's going to win. Jey must win this match. After Jey beats Jimmy, Jey Uso needs to win a singles championship. Now, it's not going to be the World Heavyweight Championship. That is going to be busy for a while. We've got loads of people in the mix with Drew and Sammy and CM Punk when he comes back. But it looks like they might be setting up for Chad Gable versus Gunther at WrestleMania, hopefully. So maybe Jimmy can get in, Jey can get, that's the first time I've done that. Jey can get in the mix there and hopefully win the Intercontinental Championship. But here's the thing. Can they follow this up on SmackDown or next week? That is the question, because as we've seen with all this stuff with The Rock, which I complained about on Friday SmackDown, WWE are good at setting things up, but following through is a tricky road. They struggle to follow up on angles, and I'm all for long-term storytelling. I am. It's what we all wanted. It's what we complain about with AEW. AEW do no storytelling. They need to do something over there. But Triple H takes it a bit too far. He takes that long-term story and he says, I'm going to extend this for fucking forever so I can get a bigger payoff. And fuck me, is it a hard road to go down when something happens, something big happens, and you don't hear anything about it for the next 3 weeks. And that is fucking, it's not good, but it's better than squash matches and roll-ups and fucking like extreme fucking death matches over a 3-week build that one of the participants in the death match isn't even one of the competitors in the main feud. And it's just it's a tough one. It is. I'm hoping WWE will follow this up on SmackDown and have Jey come out and do something with Jimmy and Solo and Heyman. Obviously, Roman and Rock aren't going to be on the fucking show. Why would they be? The Rock shows up. He says, "I've got a golden vest. Look at me. Ha! You're inbred. Ha!" And that's all we see from The Rock. When The Rock will be back, when Roman will be back, don't know. They could be on SmackDown. In fact, no, they're not going to be on SmackDown. Jey anyway. Jey's not going to be on SmackDown because it was pre-taped. It was pre-taped last week before this took place. So if they did a Jimmy angle on SmackDown, that would spoil what happened on Raw. So, by my calculations, Jey Uso will not appear on SmackDown, but The Rock and Roman might, because it was pre-taped. So we will see what happens there. There's a couple more things I do want to talk about. Michael Chandler. Now, I don't watch UFC. I tried it. Wasn't for me. I tried boxing. It wasn't for me. Right? I'm not a sports guy. I like fake sports. I like fake sports that tell me a story like a TV show. That's what I like. But UFC fans don't like that. And when they see a UFC fighter, Michael Chandler, calling out Conor McGregor on WWE Raw in a somewhat wrestling promo, that's going to turn off the UFC fans, because I've been in Wrestling Days' live chat where he goes live for a UFC show, right? And you have UFC fans in there, and they see he's a wrestling channel, and they start laying into him really, really, really bad because he's a wrestling fan. And you get all these people that say, "Oh, men in tights, fake fighting," because they don't understand wrestling. And it's not their fault. I don't blame them for not understanding wrestling, but they don't understand wrestling. And trying to get UFC fans into WWE isn't going to work. It is not going to work, and it's going to turn UFC fans as well off of UFC, because a lot of them might be very fragile-minded and think, "Oh, this is fake now as well. This is fake. Everything's fake." So what if it is? Who the fuck cares? But this is potentially going to push away UFC fans from the UFC, and it's definitely not going to convert hardcore UFC fans to WWE. Just ain't going to happen. 100% not going to fucking happen, because these people they are very against wrestling, they hate professional wrestling. They will not watch WWE. Not a chance. Quit with the fucking cross promotion, because it's only going to harm both businesses. More UFC, because the UFC fans are going to think, "This is fake. It's all fake." When in reality it isn't, but they don't understand that. They don't understand the differences. They don't understand what wrestling is and what it takes to be a professional wrestler and to make things look real when they are not real. Excuse me. So that's my thoughts on that. And I know what they're trying to do, but it's not going to work. And finally, everyone keeps saying Drew Galloway is all elite. Drew McIntyre is leaving WWE. Excuse me. Drew McIntyre is leaving WWE. Drew McIntyre's contract has not been signed. Drew McIntyre has not re-signed a contract. Drew McIntyre this, Drew McIntyre that. Where is he going? Well, I think we know the answer now. By now we know the answer, because he's been pushed very heavily over the last month. Drew McIntyre has, and he's been doing a great fucking job. He went from boring and meh to, I can't wait to hear what Drew McIntyre is going to say. What the fuck's Drew going to say this week? That has been a great change of pace and is refreshing. But people keep saying Drew McIntyre is going to leave WWE. No, he's not. Because Drew McIntyre has become the second person to pin Cody Rhodes since his return to WWE in 2022. The first was Roman. The second is now Drew McIntyre. And both instances involve Solo Sikoa with his spike. Solo! Ah! You know, all that shit. And this should really tell you that Drew McIntyre is not going anywhere. Drew McIntyre is either already re-signed and they are pushing fake news out there, which is what I think it is, or he is going to re-sign. But speaking of fake news, before we get off, WrestleVotes, who is one of the more trustworthy news outlets, stated that the plan originally was for Jey to beat Gunther and become the new IC champion. Obviously this didn't happen, and they said plans changed. But I think this is WWE either just really wanting to fuck with everyone, or they're slowly getting all the moles out, all the people who are talking to Sap and I was about to say Meltzer, but no fucker's talking to Meltzer. No one's talking to Meltzer. WrestleVotes and whoever else. I think they are finding out who these people are and either getting them out, or they know who these people are already and they want to push this fake news out there to get us more invested into Raw and SmackDown and NXT and the fucking monthly shows. So, whichever one it is, they're planning something. They're one step ahead and they're playing 4D chess. So good job to WWE. But what I want, and I'm going to say this again, what I want is I want them to follow up on things. You can't just give me something really big and then not follow up on it for the next few weeks. I want to see something between Jey and Jimmy by next week. It's probably not going to happen on SmackDown because of what I said earlier. But by next week, I want to see something between Jey and Jimmy. By Elimination Chamber or the week after that, I want to see something between Roman and Rock, Cody and Seth. I want to actually see, right, Roman and Rock talk to each other. That is something I'd like to see, because we see that they're now aligned. We've seen them walk together, but we haven't seen them interact apart from a laugh, a point, a smile, a thumbs up. They have not talked. The Rock has not spoken to Roman. The Rock has not spoken to Paul Heyman. The Rock has not spoken to Jim. Fuck's sake, Jimmy or Solo. The Rock has not spoken to any of them. There has been no interaction whatsoever. And something as little as that would be nice. If you enjoyed this video, like, subscribe, follow me on X at TheCrossman25. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you soon.